Alright, why not? Let's try to do the new PTR patch notes review. July 1st, another new month, another new PTR patch, another new patch for Heroes of the Storm. Love to see it. Gonna go ahead and see what's in this one. Alright, so first impression slash review, balance updates. That's what we're gonna focus on, of course. Um, Region Master reduced from 30 to 25 globes. That's nice. 30 globes always felt really high. Who even has Region Master? Like a noob? Like who else has the Region Master? I don't even know who else has this. But yeah, that's nice. We got some hero changes. Alarak's getting some big changes here. Basic attack damage increased by 10. That's nice. You get 5 extra heal on your E. Also nice. Uh, they're changing a lot of knockback stuff in this patch. Just changing a little bit about how the knockback functionality works, I guess. Looks like they're slowing down the speed of the knockback a little bit. Now, I'm not really sure what this line means, but someone in chat said that it makes the Alarak W radius bigger. So bigger W means easier to hit your pulls. It's another pretty nice buff. If that is what that is, that's pretty nice buff. We have a rework on the level 1 Alarak. Basically, they're just gonna make the healing be. This is the auto attack level 1. When you hit a Q, your auto attacks will heal you. Right now, it's like 50% of the damage dealt, right? But now it's gonna be based on your sadism. So at 100 sadism, this is gonna be 65% extra healing instead of 50. So as long as you're over 100 sadism, some are even lower than this. This is kind of a buff to the level 1 Alarak Q talent, which I already think is pretty strong. So it's interesting. I mean, it ties more of his skills with sadism. That's not bad. Applied force pushes the target a bit further now. There's level 7 W talent. That's fine. A small buff again. And then we have some level 20 changes. Basically, they just changed the way the level 20 multi-ult thing that works, but it's still the same thing basically. So it's still going to be, you have access to both ults with that one. And this new one is probably the most interesting thing about the Alarak changes. The Counter Strike one is not very interesting. Basic abilities reduce your Counter Strike by 3 seconds. That's decent. You could probably get like 2 Counter Strikes off in a fight with this, but nothing crazy. The really crazy one looks like this one, Deadly Charge. So if you pick Deadly Charge at 10 and you pick this new one at 20, it will now reduce the armor of the enemy heroes by 50 for 4 seconds, which would definitely mean if you hit a full combo with your ult plus all 3 abilities, that should be enough to one-shot like any squishy hero, unless they have something to save them, like armor, or they get like snap healed or stasis or something. Like if you hit them with minus 50 armor and then you hit them with a full combo, like that seems like you can one-shot any squishy hero in the game if they don't react in time. So this looks pretty spicy. Very high risk, of course, because you're going in at level 20 with Deadly Charge with no way out. So reasonable, but very spicy talent. All right, so we just got some knockback stuff. I'm gonna skip all the knockback stuff. It's very minor. They're just changing how knockback works like a little bit. So skipping knockback stuff. This is like all knockback stuff. All right, Dehaka, Paralyzing Enzymes. This is the new level 7 talent. I believe it's 40% slow and, well, let me go check real quick. It's 40% slow and 40% anti-heal, right? Something like that. Yes, 40% slow, 40% anti-heal. So I was talking about this. I was saying they needed to make the anti-heal duration longer somehow because it's not long enough. 2 seconds after drag is just not good enough to compete with the other talents. So now they changed it to basic attacks will also refresh the duration basically. So it's going to be 2 seconds after your tongue. It's going to have 40 slow, 40 anti-heal. But every time you attack them within that 2 seconds, it'll reset it to 2 seconds again. So theoretically, as long as you're constantly attacking them, this is a 40 slow plus 40 anti-heal infinitely, as long as you can get auto attacks off. Oh, now it's 50 heal. Holy shit. Okay, 50 heal, 40 slow, potentially forever. That is a massive buff. Yeah, and now I do think this is good enough to be picked. This is definitely competitive now um, with the tongue CDR talent. All right, so more knockback stuff. Imperius getting buffs, a little bit surprising. I didn't think they would only buff him, but okay, so he's definitely going to be very strong next patch. Already is very strong Molten Armor, this was another thing I was complaining about this patch. I was complaining that they changed it so that his E is supposed to be used to help with the wave clear, but when you use E to wave clear, you just go like super fast. Your E is very expensive mana-wise, and they didn't account for that. So this looks like the beginning of them accounting for that. Now, if you're using it for wave clear, it should give you a good amount of mana back. I don't know exactly how much mana back this is, but it should be significant because when you're using it for wave clear, it hits 3 targets every time, right? It hits 3 minions every time. So every one of those hits is going to give you a mana back. So that should be quite a bit of mana back. Now should be better to use it for wave clear. You won't be going nearly as fast. Wait, Gust knockback is now dynamic. If you're closer to Falstad, you get knocked back for longer. That could be interesting. Yeah, that's a very interesting change. So now you want to be close to them when you gust if you want the maximum knockback. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Could be an interesting change. All right, so Blaze of Glory damage increase. I think this is a level 7 W talent. So small buff. I think level 7 Q will still be by far the best though, especially with level 1 Q for Imperius. And I was also complaining about Holy Fervor last patch. I was saying it's useless because they removed the E functionality of it. So now they're adding another new functionality. Now it resets your auto attack. That still doesn't sound very good to me. Not good at all, actually, but at least you have some other functionality, I suppose. I still don't think this is very good, but hey, at least they're adding something. And at level 20, Molten Wrath, I think that's the E upgrade. Now it increases the radius so you can hit people from farther away. I still don't think that's good enough, but at least they're adding something. All right, moving on to Lili. This might be the single biggest buff in this patch. This is like just out of nowhere, and this is crazy. Wait, I did the math on this, but then I forgot what it at 31%. Okay, they're buffing Q healing by 31% from level 1. This base buff, 55 extra healing every time you press Q from level 1. That is a huge buff. Like, you should that's a very big buff. So interesting to see where Lili shakes out after this. Definitely gonna be healing for way more now, that's for sure. I feel like this is gonna make her OP in low ranks. Like, that's always the problem here. She's kind of good in low ranks, but she sucks in high ranks. So this might make her decent in high ranks, but if that happens, it might make her OP in low ranks. We'll see. All right, more knockback changes. Lucio has a level 16 talent that no one uses. Basically, when you hit someone with your Q or your D, you can increase the duration of your E. Um, yeah, so now they're increasing the values for that by a lot. I think this will actually be quite good in the future. I do think this is gonna like they're increasing the value. Like this one, I will experiment with. I think it has potential to be quite good. All right, more knockback stuff. We got Murky level 13 egg talent. Now you have 20% shield and it regenerates after 5 seconds. I think this is much better than the old one. The problem with the old Murky shield talent is that it was a one-time thing. You get it removed, you don't have it again until you die, which really sucks. This is better because it regenerates. However, it's still not that good because I mean it takes 8 seconds for you to regenerate 20% of your life. Like this is only basically playable if you play like Big Tuna at 20, but even like these numbers suck, man. But it's still better functionality than before. But I mean these numbers are not good. 8 seconds to regen 20% of Murky life is not good. All right, more knockback stuff. Skipping. I'm not skipping knockback. Skipping knockback. Tracer has a base E. Tracer's teleport is delay is longer now, so it's probably riskier, probably easier for you to target her teleport or her recall location now. It looks like that's like 3 seconds longer. It's quite about a lot longer. Tracer nerf. Knockback. I already don't think Tracer's amazing, so Tracer nerf. But Tracer's an annoying hero. I'm sure people will be fine with that. And lastly, we have some Tyrael changes, some Tyrael buffs, I believe. All right, let me get second ban here. So we have a little bit of an auto attack buff, that's whatever, a little bit of a tooltip, 5% slow increase, 15 extra shielding at level 1. These are very small stat buffs. We'll take them, but they're nothing crazy. Small stat buffs. Salvation, this is a level 1 W talent. This is basically nothing. Like they're buffing this slightly, but they're nerfing that. This is not much, right? It's not much. They're making a new level 16 talent where your Eldrain's Might will slow someone by 80% for the first second, then reduces to 30%. So that's basically like your Q. If you take this, it's like the Rhaegar slow totem, right? It's basically the same thing as a Rhaegar slow totem, which is powerful CC. So I can see this being good because Tyrael doesn't have much CC. You know, Rhaegar slow totem on Tyrael, definitely pickable. Reciprocate, small changes. I don't think these make much of a difference. Judgment has a tiny cast range nerf, but this is basically like a bug fix, no big deal. Now you get Burning Rage at level 7, but the damage is reduced a little bit, so yeah, that's... But Tyrael 7s aren't that good anyway, so if you're struggling on wave clear, I could see you taking that. And then there's a new level 20. I'm not really sure what this does. We're going to have to test it in PTR, but yeah, I'll test it in PTR and then we'll see if it's good or not. But that's about it for the patch note changes here. Good amount of changes. It's not bad. We'll take it.